this picture.
Yeah.
But thing is like Careless Whispers is just playing in the background.
I love the saxophone. The Careless Whisper saxophone is top notch. This is so hello everyone. Welcome to our usual weekend event.
We still can't
kitchen
see it,
table
by the way.
talks. No, I know everybody else can see it though.
Oh,
so
okay,
apologies
cool.
about that. You guys can see it.
Oh.
You guys can click on the thing, but yeah, no. But for everybody,
My bad.
everybody watching, no, that's okay. This is Mark Carney and Pierre Poilievre, and Poilievre is in a dreamlike state because he's holding Mark Carney's hand, and this is real. As I scrolled past this morning, Max was telling me this is a real, like, did you see this picture? And I was like, well, I saw the picture, but I didn't think it was real. Like, I thought maybe what's her face, like it was the wife's, he was, Pierre Poilievre was holding the wife's hand, but this would feel normal for Carney, I guess. But like this is, the whole thing is very, very, this is a real image. And so like, why are Mark Carney and Pierre Poilievre holding hands? I've taken it off the screen now. I'm back to just us in here. But why are Mark Carney and Pierre Poilievre holding hands? Wrong answers only? Like, what is happening?
Because they're gay and it's Valentine's Day?
Maybe. Are they? Well, I don't know. Well, yeah, I guess an argument could be
The big
made.
incestuous uniparty?
It seems very strange to me. The whole push. This was a tragedy, and the tragedy was done by a male, and they're pushing that this is a trans person tragedy, and Poilievre is not doing anything at all to refocus. And I lamented about this on my show this morning, so this is nothing new for everybody who's watched the show this morning. But Poilievre is reading poetry to memorialize the victims of this tragic event, and he's not saying, you know what led to this? SSRIs. You know what led to this? The damaging and fake ideology of telling boys that they can be girls or girls that they can be boys, pumping vulnerable children full of hormones and mental health drugs that are prescribed by a doctor maybe, but still not good for people. And I think there's a lot of evidence to that, is going to lead to this. And if Poilievre focused on that, people might want to hear what he says, but he doesn't focus on that. He focuses on nothing. It's garbage. It's nonsense.
This is what happens inside an armed liberal's house. The mother had a gun license,
yeah,
and she had to be liberal, right? In leanings of some which way, because she believed in this woke ideology.
Out there, though, no. A lot of dumb. There are a lot of dumb conservatives out there, no, that don't understand the grasp of a lot of the issues we talk about. Them.
Well, yeah,
I'm just saying, to be fair,
the Conservative Party voted all together in a unanimous vote for C4. So like maybe it's liberal, but it's all like if the man having your children
of after having
your children,
this happens.
Let's not say liberal. Let's say really what this is an armed woke house.
Sure,
and look what happened there.
But
the system failed.
Sure.
Right.
But the system's working exactly as they want it to work. It is making children think that they could be boys or girls when they can't be boys or girls. Nobody can change their sex. I think that's a solid truth that we can hang something around. You can't just change your sex. I can't become a girl. You can't become a girl. No.
Okay. Let's just like there's red flag laws to being a firearms owner, and there was a lot of red flags here that
they took the guns and they brought them back.
Gave them back.
Yeah. What's up with that?
Right. Like I could understand if the child was no longer living in the house, that, the mother then could possibly, get them back. But if the danger's still in the house, it doesn't matter how many lock and keys that you put on. I know the RCMP, Max, I understand. And they are incompetent.
Yeah.
But it's just there's a lot of failures here, and it's a horrible set of circumstances. It really is. But it's exactly how you said, Mark. It's it's not the gun. It's you have these SSRIs that completely drain out the human that is taking them. I know somebody that I grew up with, and in later life, this person decided to, go through some surgeries. And I was talking to her, and I will always refer to her as her. And I was talking to her, and she was explaining how she was on these drugs and they just made a little small change in something, and all of a sudden she wanted to go kill herself, right?
Yeah.
And it was just, she had all these crazy suicidal thoughts, and she went right back to her doctor, and she's like, something's wrong here. Well, obviously something's wrong here.
Yeah. Yep.
But the drugs that they have them on they're very powerful, mind altering drugs.
Yeah.
And the kids shouldn't have any part of this.
Well, and so you said the system's not working, and I said the system's working as designed, and you say the kids shouldn't have any part of this. And you know the what is it? It's like an Aesop's fable, the Pied Piper. You know what I'm talking about? That story is real,
relatable,
and we're living it right now. And so like they come in and they say, listen, you're gonna pay this toll. If you don't want to pay this toll, we're gonna take your kids, and they're taking the kids, and that's. It's not been changed, is what I'm saying. They're always targeting the kids because the kids grow up, and all of a sudden,
it's just problem. The problem in this country is the rot, like the fish rots from the head down, and
it's all the West. It's all the West, though. It's not just
in his own family. He has.
That's the only way he could become the prime minister.
Well, he in his own family has 2 of his own children that are, one is trans and one doesn't believe that she's either.
Yeah.
So
again, not possible.
Like if that's the ideology in his own household, then how can you expect Canada to not mirror that?
Well, but it's not the ideology necessarily. Maybe it is. Who knows? In Poilievre's household, and my question isn't necessarily for Carney. It's more for Poilievre. Why are you being weak? But he's just always weak. So yeah, no, I hear.
Well, it's time and time again. He's weak time and time again. He's trying to show unity. No, it's not the
time for unity. It's not the time to rally around this fake and failed ideology.
It's time for very blatant conversations that need to happen in society.
Yep.
Right. And exactly what I said. Ban the SSRIs and parent, for Christ's sake, or for society's sake. Please.
Yeah, but you get told as a parent, you see your kids in crisis or whatever, and you get told as a parent this is going to fix them, and then okay, you give it to them because the doctor's going to pressure you. And there have been situations as well where, and I don't want to, MC and Max have their hand up, so I don't want to go off on another thing, but there have been situations as well, whereas if you don't take the doctor's advice. This is more in the States than in Canada that I've seen, but I know that Family and Children's Services will take your kids from you if they deem you not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And so if you don't listen to the doctor, then they may take your kids from you. and with C4 being passed by the liberals and so on and so forth, if you don't affirm, the kids saying they're going to kill themselves and you're not affirming their care, and this is dangerous, we're going to take it away from you. So like, they've created a situation where even if you do stand up for your beliefs, those beliefs are now invalid because reasons. And so like this whole thing is working as planned, is what I'm trying to say. And we should screw the plan. We should throw the plan out because the plan's horrific and terrible. But this is what they're planning. This is what they want. Thanks, Noel. MC.
I agree.
Well, I think it's very possible that the parent in this situation was overwhelmed by the systems that were doing this, right? Like, no, you are going to do this. It was in BC where they jailed that guy because he wouldn't call his son a she or whatever, or daughter a he. It's something like that. So that's a point for sure, that like parents don't necessarily control especially if they expose their kids to the public systems, which is actually what my primary takeaway from this. Everyone who's watching, this kid was driven insane and drugged by the public education system and the public health care system. The perpetrators of this are the teachers at the school and the doctors who wrote the prescriptions. Right now, they obviously aren't directing themselves necessarily. They're taking direction, but they're not the mafia boss, but they're the thug in the street.
Mm-hmm. Don't forget the cannoli.
Yeah, and as far as Mark Carney and Poilievre's reaction there, like I just watched Mark Carney's speech, and they cut to Poilievre's reaction during the speech, which was awesome. Like, that is the worst acting I think I have ever seen. Like those were just not convincing performances in any matter. Carney slipped French into his speech in a couple of times. He's supposed to be there to comfort the people of Tumbler Ridge, BC, where there's not French, right?
So
but
did he speak Mandarin at all, or
not yet?
Fair enough.
But there should be a movie critic that's watching these guys and assessing their performances, because they're just like, you just couldn't believe anything he was saying. Like he was shuffling papers around and stuff like that. Because
that's basically my shit. Like, I'm Siskel and Ebert, but I'm just like one of them. I'm like Ebert for Canadian politicians. I'm like, that's a thumbs down for me, dog. Oh, you'll never believe this speech. But Marco Rubio's speech, that's 2 thumbs up. Holy shitballs.
Well, it sounded like he knew what he was talking about.
It did sound like he knew what he was. Well, the reality is, it wouldn't take much to have a banger of a speech. All you have to do is not lie. Not lie because the globalists will do something bad to you. Just tell the truth. We are being invaded. The people who are invading us hate our culture and hate us, and they want us dead, and they'd rather us be replaced by Indians, and not those Indians, the Indians from across the ocean. Like, they'd rather replace us with something else and not deal with us and what we want for our country. They'd rather just wholesale replace us. And that's crazy. We're not living in reality. We're living in like this fantasy world. It's such a weird thing.
That's the main thing I learned in public speaking class, is if you know what you're talking about, you can talk about it.
Yes.
And if you're just full of shit, then
can't say a damn word.
Topic,
you just say,
right?
Mr. Carney.
I couldn't tell you convincingly about the inside life of being a rodeo clown, right? I don't know.
Are you sure?
Believe it or not.
Thanks, MC. Max?
I want to say this is like divine intervention after the CPC completely went against this at their conference. Yep. And then this happens like the next week.
And they don't do a damn thing to correct course. Nothing. And it seems like they're not even losing support about it.
But then again, we know it's the Uniparty, so it doesn't matter. The system is failing, but it's working as intended. And like, imagine my shock when the RCMP are incompetent. It's not like the good old pig farm taught us that, or like the Nova Scotia shooting hasn't taught us that. And like, just another quick point. Even when I was graduating, the trans shit is pushed so much in the public school system, you guys wouldn't even believe.
Oh, I believe it.
It is insane.
Yep.
And I graduated a few years ago. Yeah. But I imagine it's just gotten worse now. It was crazy when I was leaving, but it's 10 times worse now.
Yep.
Trust me.
You said that it's incompetence, and I want to push back on that just a little bit.
I don't think it's incompetence. Quotation marks.
Yeah.
Quotation marks. So
because I think we give them an out if we say, oh, they're too stupid to know what's right and wrong. That's not it. They know what's right. They know what's wrong. They know what the Canadian public wants, and it isn't what they're doing. They don't care. It's not incompetence. It's a plan, and they're rolling it forward, and it's working, as you said, as expected. They will claim incompetence, because claiming incompetence, if out of 10 people, 3 people know that this is an incompetence, this is planned, this is planned, you people are doing this on purpose, the 7 people will be like, oh, they're so dumb. Oh, well, I guess we'll just leave them in charge and keep voting for them and stuff. They're so dumb. No, what? This is insane.
It's crazy that the CPC isn't even trying to placate this part of the base that wants
they're not
gender ideology. Because I think if they even tried to at least placate them, that's a way to get victory over the left, over the so-called left, quote unquote. Even if you placate them, because Carney isn't going to come out against this. Elizabeth May isn't, whoever the leader of the NDP isn't. Pierre could at least placate that faction, but he's not. And I think he's bleeding support by the day. I don't believe any of these polls, and to be honest, I think he's cooked, and I don't know how anyone can say this is a viable alternative. Exactly.
It's not. It hasn't won anything.
It's insanity. Trying the same thing and expecting a different result. And I don't know why there was controversy about how Pierre Poilievre isn't running in Alberta in the next federal election. I'm like, did you guys really expect him to do this? He's a politician. You guys honestly believed that when he moved to an easy riding to get a win, he was just going to stay there.
Well,
How naive
he's
are
made
we,
his
guys?
money. He's done the
Yeah.
done the whole thing. He's made.
He got his
I
bag.
wouldn't be surprised if he retired. If he gets pushed out, he'll retire. Him and O'Toole and the rest of the people will just retire.
He'll probably like go to end up going to like Deloitte because
Or an ambassadorship.
Because look how many CPC guys go to Deloitte or have had ties to Deloitte.
Yeah,
Interesting rabbit hole there.
Yeah. Thanks, Max. Ryan.
Hello, everyone.
How's it
Can you
going?
hear me?
Yep, you're all good.
Good. All right, perfect. Yeah, I just wanted to say with what MC said, I absolutely agree. Exactly everything you said. You said it perfect about this shooting. And I'm also looking at. I was looking at a video. I'm trying to remember it. The guy that did it, but he took video. He took shots on the internet of this kid that did the shooting before they were erased. Now they're erased off the internet. Like he was sitting. He has a video of him, the kid sitting there, and going back and forth,
yeah,
and just laughing.
Yeah.
You know, and kind of screaming, and all those drugs and stuff that were pumped into him, he just made him crazy.
You ever seen A Clockwork Orange?
No, what's
Clockwork Orange? No? Oh, well, it's like the one where they brainwash the kid. They go to the milk bars and they're you know, a little bit of the ultra violence, you know, and they're like, oh, you're too violent, and then they pump him full of drugs and they make him watch violent things and they make him sick.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like the same. It's kind of like the same thing. But yeah, they're torturing these poor kids.
Yeah.
And then unleashing them. And like they're saying, you know who is deserving of all of your violence and anger? People who don't believe you're a girl, buddy. You guys just unleash it on them.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
insane.
and one of the points I was going to get to is how many more kids are like this in Canada?
A lot.
Like
How many
You
adults are taking
well-
SSRIs too every day?
Yeah, when is it going to happen again? It's going to happen again.
Well, hopefully not, but yeah, I don't disagree.
I know,
Yeah.
but the way things are going, you look at it this way
The
too.
pattern, yeah.
Yeah, you know, the Epstein list had got like Carney's name on the Epstein list. Well, that's gone. Now they're talking about the shooting and your guns. No more talking about Epstein list.
Yeah,
Carney
connections with all of that.
connections. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, like with Reid Hoffman, the founder of LinkedIn, they're best friends.
Yep.
Hoffman's been on that on the Epstein list 3,500 times. They said.
Yep.
And yeah, that's one of his best friends. So yeah, that they're not talking about that anymore.
No, they want other things to take up our time, and they don't want to actually use it for meaningful things. They're going to use it for confiscating rifles and guns, just like they do in the United States, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sam Cooper needs armed guards. Yes, no, that's not incorrect. Thanks.
Yeah, it was Dan Dix. Dan Dix, he has the video of.
Oh, does he? Yeah. Good for him. He's good, man. He's like one of the most hard-nosed news guys in Canada, I think.
On there. Yeah.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah.
MC.
Yeah, just going back to what you were saying, Mark, about it being a plan. Yes, it's a plan. It's a plan to browbeat everyone who disagrees until they pretend not to disagree, right? Until they just shut up. And also to empower the 1 in 10 woke idiots you're going to encounter, or higher, depending where you live. That's willing to come up and shriek at you until if you say the wrong thing.
Yep.
So you're going to be with a bunch of people, and 8 of them are just going to stand there and listen to this shit and not say anything because they don't want the idiot shrieking at them. And you might say something, and then you get the idiot shrieking at you because the 10th person is that person that's going to come up and shriek, "Oh, you're such a hateful blah, blah, blah." And that's what it is. They just have to keep reinforcing it every time, which is why everything they say is nonsense.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. The plan is to just keep placating us and never fixing anything until we implode and or get overwhelmed by a different culture, and then they can just pass off. And they win.
On that note, I saw a video this week where the Australian police were finally going to go do their jobs and clear the praying Muslims out of the street.
Yeah.
And who were they confronted by? a mob of woke idiots standing up for the Muslims' religious right.
So why don't those people get arrested? And like the same thing I think that a lot of the protests that we've seen in Canada, people intimidating people in neighborhoods, any of the Antifa activity, people who are protesting against the right, all of those things, I think that they regularly, and I mean like the stuff that happens to Carmaya, I think I'm getting her name right, Carmaya Sad, I think that's her name, like just some of the craziest stuff you've ever seen. The people who are Antifa, what's his name? Nicholas Alexander and somebody else were just attacked. I talked about it on my show this morning. I can't remember, General Mike or something like that. I don't know.
Wild Bill?
Wild Bill, that's it. Yeah, General Mike. Wild Bill. Yeah, so they were attacked by Antifa as well. Nothing happens. There's cops 5 steps away. Nothing ever happens. This is done on purpose. And so like, I think that it's a situation. Why do we have law enforcement if all they're going to do is back up the people who are destroying our culture? And then like when you have law enforcement going out and they get encounter a violent mob and they go, oh no, these guys are real violent. Us police can't do anything about that. What are we paying them for? You know what I mean? Like that's your job, man. You go, and if you arrest one of them and if they all lose their minds, you arrest all of them. And then we deal with it in the courts after. You don't sit there and arrest the people who are being victims of these violent assholes. Like, what is wrong? And so like, I don't understand why people are okay and like by and large just cool with whatever's going on and having the police not react or bring coffee and donuts for people. And I mean, like, the framing around a lot of these neighborhoods being attacked, I think, is disingenuous as well. People are trying to claim victimhood. And I'm saying all Canadians, not just specific Canadians with the right last name or the right religion or something like that. All Canadians are put at risk by these mobs of people traveling around. And the police not doing something about these violent mobs traveling around puts us even more at risk because there's not negative impact for doing this kind of stuff. And it's just friggin' crazy. It doesn't make any sense.
Part of the same thing, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna quietly and politely say all the woke bullshit, and then at the same time when people get upset about it, you're gonna go and make sure that the people that don't agree with you are the only ones who can get arrested, so that they know that the system is against them. It's all part of this, the operation to break you down and make you give up. Yes. Right? Give up saying anything about it. I'm not going to bother going to this protest because I know that a bunch of people are going to come and hit me and the police are just going to watch that. But if I hit them back, then I go to jail. Like
in Wayne's World where Garth has that thing that he creates and somebody like tries to hit him in the party and then he like blows them across the room with his little device. I'd like that. I'd be like, don't get in my way. And then just like, and then if the cops say like, what was that? I'd be like, I have no idea.
That's only feasible as a thing to do, like going to one of those things where there's going to be that kind of confrontation is only feasible as a thing to do if you know that you're bringing 500 guys wearing armor, carrying clubs that are going to beat the shit out of those guys, and if the police get in the way, you're going to beat the shit out of them too.
Yep. Yes, and when the police realize that the math is different, then their math is different. But until then, their boss is the person who's going to fire them if they do the real police work that they're supposed to do. And so they have to put food on the table, blah, blah, blah.
That's like that Tyson comment where everybody's tough until they get punched in the face.
Yeah, especially by Mike Tyson.
Yeah, you're really tough until you get your nose broken.
Yeah, for real. I saw there was an AI video and it was like 2 minutes long. It wasn't very long at all, but it talked about Mike Tyson in his prime and like people talked shit to him and they were like, they would make fun of him and call him on and the whole deal. And he would just get in the ring and destroy them. He would just absolutely destroy them. And then one guy came at him, Mike Tyson, in public and Tyson threw one punch and like broke the guy's jaw. And he said, I threw one punch
in 4 places.
But the reason is because he knocked him out cold in the punch and the guy hit the pavement face first. And Tyson was like, fucking idiot, basically. Like, what are you doing, man?
Like, if you want to mess around, go
Yeah,
ahead,
like you're gonna find out. Like, okay,
Yeah.
you know, my name's Mike Tyson. They made a whole video game about me. Like, I'm gonna punch you in the face, and that's it. And like, the more you do something, the better you are at it. Mike Tyson punched a lot of people in the face. He got really good at it. He's really good at it. Like, I think that what's the fight that Jake Paul, is that his name? His girlfriend
Yeah,
or
Paul
fiance?
versus
Yeah.
versus like Tyson.
His girlfriend's smoking hot, or his fiance or whatever. Holy smoke. The speed skater?
Yeah,
The
but he
Italian speed
cries
skater?
like a little.
I
bitch.
know. I was like, what's up with that,
Yeah,
man?
Jake Paul
You're tough.
filmed the guy in like Japan's in like the suicide forest. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but that happened a while ago.
Oh yeah, I remember there was I didn't know who he was then. I still really don't. I don't care who he is now. But I think that whole fight was thrown.
Oh yeah, fully agree.
That's my
Oh
opinion
yeah,
on that.
Tyson would have just leveled him.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like a whole bunch of people were saying like Tyson was pulling his punches, and like if you watch it, everybody walking out of the ring was saying it was rigged. Like Tyson could have killed that guy. Jake who? Anyway, yeah, I think it was totally rigged. We got off topic. Thanks, everybody. Max.
Yeah, to go back to what you said, I don't know how anybody can still back the like police in this day and age. I
That's
don't
why
get
they're
it. Like, yeah, they're probably good cops, but like the whole institutions are corrupt. COVID should have taught the right that. I don't know why the right's asking the police to be their heroes when they clearly are not.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
There's. Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, I was gonna. I don't think people want to believe that the institutions that they trust are corrupt to the point of uselessness. And I was saying that's why they want to bring in the foreign cops. Like I was showing on my show this morning, Scotland's advertising for foreign police. Alberta's advertising for foreign police.
UK's rough.
Yeah, everybody's asking for foreign police. UK is just unbelievable. I hope Rupert Lowe gets his way. I hope he's able to do what he needs to do. Because like I don't think people understand we're in a war. And if they can it's like a Terminator trying to kill John Connor before he can raise the army that eventually destroys them. Like they go after the
It's
political
like a decapitation
opponents.
strike,
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah, they go after the political opponents before they can get their power. They've missed Trump or something. Who knows? Yeah, it's a coordinated. It's very, very coordinated, and they want people on board. They don't want. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's crazy. I wanted to also circle back to what Ryan said about like Epstein files, and this trans shit was heavily pushed in there too.
The trans stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so it would. I assume you've probably seen it, but like a lot of where this ideology started were people connected to Epstein, which is very interesting. And the like Epstein files are a whole other rabbit hole, considering it confirms escape for the most part.
Oh,
like,
it's
like
totally confirmed.
That happened.
Yeah,
and even like
is
some,
happening
like,
currently. Yeah,
and also some like minute stuff with like Jeffrey Epstein was one of the key people pushing up microtransactions in video games, which nobody had that on their bingo card. Did you see that, Mark?
No, I didn't.
Because
I've been waiting for things to bubble up, and it's just one of those things that again, the Epstein files are so fraught for me. I'm look at it and I'm like, wow, that's interesting,
Fair.
plausible, but I don't know,
I would
man.
give you the context of what I know. So Jeffrey Epstein was in contact with a man named Bobby Kotick, who was the CEO of like Activision for a long time, and it was mentioned in the files. There's an email correspondence between the two where Jeffrey Epstein was pushing Kotick to like include microtransactions in video games to get kids, quote unquote, invested in the economy. It's wild.
Interesting.
And really interesting and like fucked.
Yeah.
For lack of a better
the
term.
other aspect, and I don't know if this is in the Epstein files, but the other aspect is using things like Fortnite. Like when I was a kid,
Roblox,
Fortnite and Roblox to train people for that kind of warfare where you're like drone warfare. You're piloting a drone and it's like you have to win. You know, you have to be the last man standing type deal. But you're piloting a drone. You're not piloting an avatar in a fake world. You're piloting a drone in a real world. And it's supposed to be training for that kind of stuff. Now, like when I was a kid, and I remember when Killer Instinct was released to the Super Nintendo, and we used to, in high school, go over to my buddy's house and play Killer Instinct. And there was like 15 of us in his living room and all 2 players at a time, right? That was a little bit different, but then GoldenEye happened and it was 4 players at a time on the N64. That was 2000, was that 99, 90, 99,
90,
2000.
it was like
something like that.
it was late 90s or late
Early
2000s.
2000, yeah, right there. And so I wasn't playing video games as much anymore, and I'm terrible at the aiming. But I think like the seed of training people for combat was cracked a long time ago, 20 years ago, 25 years ago. And
like Halo
yeah,
too.
Yeah. My brother and I used to play Halo all the time, and then we'd play, and then we moved over to sports because I'm really, really bad at the shooting games. He would just destroy it. Like first to 10 frags, he'd be like at 9. Like and I'd be at none, like it was just ridiculous. So yeah, no, I think they're using the, when you say get them invested in the economy, I think they're using it to train people to like buy things online and to have that normal. And like, I've got my identity connected to my card so I can buy this easy online.
Yeah.
And like all of this works, you know what I mean? Whereas for me, it's going to be hard to train me to do that because there isn't that reciprocal thing, although app stores and things, like we're already kind of trained to do that. So it's like onboarding the kids through their video games. It's insidious, I think, too.
It's insidious.
Yeah. It's like you can't even see how evil it is because we don't actually need that layer, but they want that layer because it's a layer of control. And then people are like, oh, I like the video games. So, and they're just training for their future job.
One final thing, Mark, before I think I passed on to Peter. If you want a fun game to play, I played it after you left last Sunday. I want you to play the UK Pathways game.
UK Pathways? Send me the link, I'll play.
So, all right, I'll find the link. I know Ryan and KJ were here for it. You'll see it's pretty interesting.
Okay, cool. Yeah, send me the link.
Is that what we did last week, Max? Is that the game?
Yep.
I remember this Star Trek episode. Thanks, Max. Peter.
Yeah, just to get Max's point about the police. I mean, that idiot cop in out west. I mean, I don't know who was worse, Carney with his little French bit, or this clown going on with
talking about how the identity of the shooter and
pronouns. A woman in a dress. Well, you could just have easily said a man in a dress because that would
have been accurate. Yep.
But it's been insidious for a long time. They replayed that RCMP broad that was going on about how to identify if somebody's radicalized. If they start talking about traditional values.
Having a boy, how they want a boy and a girl. Oh my gosh, those right-wing monsters. Okay, Karen.
But I mean, it's gone on for a long time. When you see if there's a crime committed, and when they won't identify who the guy, who the person is, it's either a shit skin or a goat fucker. Because if they're white, they'll identify it.
Yeah, right away. And I find that too when I'm looking at the news articles. If I read and they say a Guelph man, a Waterloo man, and it's like, oh, so not really a Guelph man has been arrested. Because when it is a Guelph man, they usually have a name, right? And so I've been burned by that once or twice.
When they say Brampton, they should just say a Bramladesh man. And, that covers it all.
Yeah. It is very interesting what's going on, and it's more interesting that people ignore it. Like, Toronto doesn't look like the Toronto that I used to go. My mom, when I was 14, I was in grade 9. It was the year Jagged Little Pill was released because I went to a CD store on Queen Street West, and I bought Jagged Little Pill, and there was like 2 other CDs I bought for cheap. It was like $9 for these 3 albums. But I was surprised by that because in HMV, all 3 were $20 each. And I was like, I'm going to buy these and not mention that the prices are way too cheap. But my buddy and I were walking down Queen Street West and like 14 years old. I don't think I'd let a 14-year-old go to Toronto. And like we were left for the day and my dad picked us up after his work. So like my dad was at work, my mom dropped us off. She had an appointment or something like that. And we were like, oh yeah, we'll meet my dad when he's on his way home from work. So like we were there for 10 hours or something like that. And it was fine. I went to we took the bus to my grandmother's house. My dad went and visited my grandmother. Then we went home and everything was fine. Like there were a couple homeless people, but like I didn't feel in danger at all. And I mean, now as a grown man, I walk around downtown Toronto and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get shot. Like, this is ridiculous. So I don't go there as much as I can.
Well,
right.
No.
So,
well, when I was in high school, back in the dark ages, I mean, we take gangs of kids. We take the subway downtown, get the ferry over to Toronto Island, spend the day on the island, 14, 15. I mean, you should do my grade 13 yearbook. The entire book is white bread. And
Yeah.
that's what it was like when I,
Yeah,
when
we
I was
had-
growing up in Toronto.
Well, yeah, right. And my cousin or my family lives in Mississauga area, and Mississauga got multicultural very fast, with specific, like it's kind of close to Brampton, so like it was like where the Asians went, I guess, and it's just incredible to watch the change. Whereas, so like his high school, very multicultural when I was growing up, and he was fine with it and like whatever, but when I was in high school, as you said, very white bread. Like there was a couple people who had darker skin or something like that, but by and large, it was white, like 95% white. And so maybe that's high, 90% white. But now the enrollment, and I mean, looking at videos in Alberta, it's even worse. You know what I mean? And like the population's relatively small in Alberta, so the changeover is going to be very fast. People don't get it. I think they don't understand. And then maybe they do understand, but they're going to be surprised when it happens. And then all of a sudden you're politically disenfranchised because your positions aren't popular.
And don't support the Dominion Society, then you're really racist.
Yeah. Yep.
The latest.
Yeah, they've done a good job. I feel like they've held their position very well, and I think they're making people really mad. I think there are people with the position that they hold and the way they argue it, and I think they argue it very effectively. Both Greg and Daniel are quick on their feet and able to articulate a good argument, I think. And I think they've done a good job at pissing off all the right people. It's been wonderful to watch.
Well,
It's been so much
Daniel,
fun.
I've seen so far, he's able to remain extremely calm through the whole thing.
Yep.
When they jump down his throat, he
Yep.
just carries,
Yeah,
carries
yeah,
on.
he's able to again make compelling arguments in the face of their very emotional, their emotionally manipulative arguments. I think he makes very, very effective arguments, and Greg has been
Also,
good at
their
that
way
for
of
a while.
starting a conversation is effective too. Like being at the CPC conference with that photo, it definitely got a lot of people talking.
Sure did. What do they conserve? And I mean, it is a legitimate question. What do you conserve? Like, what is a woman, guys? Could have had that question up too.
Just like a quick tangent, I find it funny that everyone attached to like PPC, once they leave, they become way more effective at what they do.
Yep. Well, except that the CPC is the approved official opposition, and so nobody else is going to be allowed to.
No, I mean like in terms of like organizing, like Daniel
yeah.
Tyree has done way more than he's done with like Dominion Society than he has with like PPC
Yep.
when he was on their board.
Much faster, and I mean, yeah, like they're different entities. Like the Dominion Society wants to support a political party. They don't want to be a political party, and that's a distinction. But yeah, the positioning of who they are and what they're trying to do, because they're not themselves trying to become they're not trying to vie for power themselves. They just want to support people who bring up who bring up what they want to talk about. Sorry, I've got somebody's being noisy. Yeah, because they don't actually want the power. I think that the people who want to dismiss other political parties, they just want power, they're not really ready to govern. This Dominion Society thing is kind of dodges that criticism and makes them able to move in ways that like the PPC can't, maybe. But one of the big criticisms of the PPC is that like they're not doing events like that. Like the PPC is not standing at the front of the
And that's what I mean.
Of a liberal convention or the conservative convention, calling people out, calling politicians out. They're not having rallies. Where are the rallies? Where are the
most
events?
Bernier does is go on a podcast and say something on Twitter.
Yeah,
that's
right. Yeah,
that's
and you need to be active in the real world, and like that's one of the big criticisms. So yeah, it is difficult. I got people with their hands up, so thank you everyone. And I remember your name, and it is totally escaping me right now. WRCU. What's your name, man? No, you're muted. You're muted. I muted you because it was. If there's other people talking in the background, I get distracted, so I have to turn it off. There you go. How's it going, man?
Name's Greg.
Greg.
Yeah, get that? Can you hear me?
Yep. You're all good, man. How's it going?
Okay, so can I see a show of hands? How many boomers we got here? Am I the only boomer?
A couple of boomers.
Oh, okay. We got 2 boomers.
Yeah.
Just 2? Oh my. Sometimes our worldviews are a little quirky.
It's all good.
So how do you like the fall?
The fall.
We
What do you
doing
mean?
pretty good. Like we're over the cliff. Like we're down the drain.
Yeah. Well, like all of the West or just Canada?
I don't see a single political party that inspires me whatsoever.
I agree. Again,
Right?
in Canada
Jeremy
only.
inspires me. Jeremy
Jeremy McKenzie?
Jeremy?
Yep, Jeremy McKenzie.
Yeah, he inspires me.
Yep. Well,
Yeah, he's a guy I can rally behind.
Yeah, he's certainly speaking very forcefully. I think he was thinking about doing another tour. He was posting on Twitter or X about doing another tour. He said, "Why shouldn't I do another tour? That'll be fun."
He's been working on his pipes.
Yep.
Yeah, his voice. That's why he lost it the other day. He working on his pipes.
There you go.
In front of the CBC.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. Again, the Dominion Society and Jeremy's outfit. I don't know.
Second Sons.
Second Sons, right. I was going to say they had other names before, right? But now it's Second Sons. It's not Diagolon. They're not officially Diagolon.
Right.
It was a joke for a long time. Anyway, like the Diagolon thing was a joke.
So you guys are referring essentially to online exposure.
Well,
There's no
that's what I was.
except
That's what I was just saying. Dominion and Second Sons are the only ones who are really like, because Second Sons goes and does remigration banners on highways. Dominion Society does that too, but Second Sons does that, and they were accused of being
the stormtroopers.
the stormtroopers. That's right. They're racist by doing it. And and again, Jeremy does a good job. Yeah, not meaning to cut Jeremy out. No, I think he does a good job with as good a job as the Dominion Society, but they frame him as dangerous. And they're not able to do that. And that's kind of the point I was trying to make. They're not able to do that with the Dominion Society, despite them wanting to frame them as dangerous. They're not dangerous. They're just politically active. And so
everyone they don't like is dangerous.
Yes. Yeah. I'm dangerous according to them, but I mean.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah,
I'm a scary person.
Yeah. Yeah. It's ridiculous. I'm just hanging out in my garage, pointing at things that I see. And I'm like, hey, that's great. And I don't agree that makes me dangerous in any way. I think more people should have critical questions, like critical thinking, and that critical thinking should lead to serious questions, because I don't understand how people can accept that the government doesn't change even through elections and the government is destroying the country while they tell us that they're making things better, but it's provably worse. Right? Like if you had a contractor and you were having them do your bathroom and you just wanted the shower done, and you're like, okay, just do the shower, I'm going to be back in an hour or whatever, and you come back and the whole bathroom's gutted, and you're like, what the heck? Like, this is not what I wanted. You're not going to let him then continue, I don't think. I'd be like, all right, get out. Like, you're not putting this, you obviously screwed this up. Like, get out, and we'll figure out the money that you owe me. Get out. You don't reelect that guy. If the guy says, I'm going to get a deal with Donald Trump, and instead gets a deal with Xi Jinping, that is not, oh my gosh, you get a majority. That's after you throw that guy out. Like Uncle Phil to Jazz, man. You throw that guy out. It's insane. It's insane. It doesn't make any sense. And so, yeah, whenever stuff like that happens, and I say, obviously this is rigged because this makes no rational sense, and then people dismiss it. It's like, well, it doesn't make any sense. People don't act like that.
I think Max missed the opportunity. He missed it.
Possibly.
He missed it a few years ago.
Possibly. Yep. Possibly. I think that.
I had his banners up. I put flags up. I was all over that.
Sure,
guy.
Me too. I ran for the party.
Yeah.
I think what Rupert Lowe is doing in England is interesting. Like, it looked like Nigel Farage was going to be the next prime minister, and it looked like he made a deal. He was importing all sorts of Tories from the other Conservative parties and things like that. And then Rupert Lowe comes in and does what he's doing. And not that we need new blood necessarily. We just need people to speak honestly about what's going on. And I've seen Bernier doing that a bit more lately. I'm seeing a bit of a higher profile. It's still not enough, but I'm seeing him do that a bit more. But if you had somebody who was firing on all cylinders with the media and connecting with people in a way, and that was saying, 2028 is our year. Like, it's 2026. You got time. You got to build, man. You can't just be like, it's an election now. Nobody pays attention. Nobody cares. The only way they care, if they care, they get shoved propaganda down their throats, right? They get the second tier B-class Canadian media. And then if they move to that, and then maybe Rebel, but it's all propaganda. It's all on the same team. I don't think any of it is genuine. You know what I mean? Like, again, the government is destroying the country. Everybody's like, oh, well, the gun grab, the whole fucking country, the whole fucking thing. It's not just this and that. It's everything.
Propaganda implies everybody hears it.
Well, that's what they want. And they want to censor and silence people like me and people who speak against the narrative or speak in a way that is doubtful of the narrative. They want to silence us. And I can see how they could view me as dangerous to a narrative because I poke holes in the narrative and I say it doesn't make any sense. People don't act like that. So I can understand that. And whether or not I'm right, it doesn't really matter if I'm right. There are questions here. These things don't add up. 1 + 1 should equal 2, and you're telling me it equals 9? Why? And they can't explain why. And instead they say, you're too stupid, you right-wing stupid head. And I say, well, none of that answers my question. And they hate it.
I've been following you for a while. I know
thanks,
what
man.
you're all about.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad. I'm just trying to reiterate. Thank you.
All right, I just wanted to just chime in. I want to get to know everybody. I'm a better listener than speaker.
Fair enough. It's nice to have you here, man. Cheers.
Right.
Steve.
Yeah, getting back to immigration and the slow creep, right? You know me, I'm ear to the ground. Okay, just like 500 meters from my house, there's a French Catholic school. Okay, well, that's great. That's good. They park everywhere in the mornings because they got to get their kids to school. We're very forgiving about that. Block my driveway, all kinds of stuff. Okay, well, you got to get your kids to school. Then there's 10 more cars. Then there's 20 more cars. Then there's 30 more cars. Then it's all Haitians and migrants with new vehicles. Then all of a sudden, my whole community's overrun, and it's twice a day, and nobody cares. And the buses can't get through, the OC Transpo. It's just mayhem. You got to leave early for work and avoid all these people that are bringing from out of the community all these people to go to this school.
Yep.
And nothing's brought up. Nothing, we're all being pretty cool about it. But at this point now, I'm starting to really, really question what is going on.
Well,
anyway, so I thought I'd drop that because I see it. And it's been a few years coming. And what say you, public, here?
Yeah.
Because you guys tell me what you think of that when it comes to your little hamlet, right?
Well, they're doing it, I think, in order to, again, I think it's a Ponzi scheme, number one. And so they're importing all these people. But my mind went to a different area. All of the major roads around where I live are now 40 kilometers an hour. And they're trying
exactly mine too.
And they're shrinking roads. Like they're narrowing roadways. They're making things bike lane, roadway, suicide, north lane, south lane, suicide, bike lane. And it's like, you guys have to,
snow removal, my garbage is more expensive. My taxes are going sky high, and other people from other communities are just coming and dropping their kids at this prestigious schools around my area because they're all really good, notably really good schools. Yet they can't buy in here because nobody's selling. They're selling to their kids. They're passing it on. They're like, they know that this area is kept. There's no sidewalks. There's no street lights. It's total 70s communal village where people have families, But yet it's, I'm watching it, and the change is spooky. There's no infrastructure for it. The happenstance of it has to be questionable, man. Like, I question what they're doing, and it's starting to.
It's an invasion, man. It's an invasion.
It's starting to scare me, man. When I can't see a white kid for a mile, and everybody's just parked all over the street, and nobody can drive properly, and it's like people are arguing on the street, and I'm like, I've never seen this in my life. Like, what is going on, man?
I wonder what people think when they see all the schools that are full of foreign kids. And Canadians are barely having replacement kids. We barely have two, because you have two parents, right? If you have two kids, that's a replacement rate. Yeah. There should be a growth rate, but there's no growth rate. There's barely replacement. People have one kid, and that's crazy. And so, like, when you're fully replaced and your culture is gone, is that when you'll wake up, or are you just going to die quiet? Like, because it seems like our culture is just going to die quiet.
My next door neighbor, a white couple with two kids, I watched the kids be born and grow. My neighbor, they're on a wait list for those schools, down the way.
They can't get in there. Eh?
That's unacceptable, man.
Yeah.
They pay their taxes for this. They moved here for those good schools,
Yep.
and they gotta, fight or flight it.
Yeah.
That now it's starting to really piss me off because
Yeah.
they're great people,
Yeah.
and I want to stand up for them, but there's nowhere to stand up for them.
No.
Our municipality's bought. You can't get a hold of them.
Every
They
level.
don't care. They don't care.
Yep.
They don't care.
Yep, I agree with you there, unfortunately. Thanks, Steve. MC?
Well, all around the world, all these people from all these different places and stuff, they all have homelands.
Mhm.
That's where their culture is dominant. And sure, admittedly, in Africa, a lot of them homeland borders are probably poorly drawn. And that was done by European kings and stuff like that a long time ago.
Yep.
I was never one of those kings.
Nope.
I can't possibly see anything wrong with a bunch of people that kind of look the same. I mean, all us white guys look the same.
Totally.
Really.
Interchangeable.
But saying, hey, this is where we're from. This is our homeland. And if you come here, you adapt to us. And if you don't want to adapt to us, don't come here.
Mm-hmm.
And I know why the evil planners have decided to destroy this culture, because it's the one that likes freedom and stuff,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
All the other ones, look at Asia, look at the Kurds, right? Why don't they have their own country? Well, because they're subservient, right? They became subservient to the Iraqis and the Iranians and the Turks. That's why they don't have their own country, because they didn't keep fighting, right? So, and now they're still fighting, but you got to be able to win if you want to have your own country, right?
Mhm.
So I guess we're doomed.
Yeah.
I can't see why we don't deserve a place in the world.
Well, we did.
Why does there
right up
be
until
no
5 seconds ago.
Huh?
We did have a place. We did have and deserve a place, and everybody was kind of cool with it up until 5 minutes ago. And then it was oh yeah, you guys are colonizers. And we were like, what? And they said, and racist. And we were like, us? Are you talking to us? And then all of a sudden we were like, where did all these people come from?
Yeah, and punctuality is white privilege.
Yeah. Well, they have to destroy the culture. We won't give it up unless we want to give it up. Right? And so the same thing happened with religion. They gave an opportunity for people to just abandon their religion. I'm an atheist. I don't go to church. Whereas before that was culturally verboten, right? If you didn't go to church, you weren't plugged into the community. You didn't have a community. And that was something that was very, very bad. And now nobody has a community unless you are from a different culture that still goes to temple or whatever your church looks like weekly. And I've lamented about this before as well, but they've isolated us, isolated the culture that they want to remove. And basically they're holding us underwater until those people all die. Because you can't do that to a big culture because they'll stop you. But you can do that to, if everybody's an island, you can do that to individual islands. And you can do it collectively through bad policy.
Yeah.
And that's where we are. And I wish that weren't so, but we're being dismantled and it's a plan. And people are saying, manage decline. They're right. And we don't even believe them enough to react. Right?
Yeah, not enough of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Collectively.
Well, and then too, if everyone around you gives up, then it doesn't matter if you give up or not, because everyone around you is doing whatever they said.
Yeah. Unless you're Charlton Heston and you're in the lead for, what was it? The two movies, Ben-Hur and the Bible one. I can't remember the Bible. Is Ben-Hur the Bible one? Unless, I know, and Moses. He played Moses.
Oh, yeah.
So he's the guy, right? He's the guy. He's the one who never gives up. He's the one guy, but then everybody rallies behind him.
The 10 Commandments.
10 Commandments. Thank you. That's the one.
Also, Prince of Egypt is really good.
Prince of Egypt is. I tried to show my kids that one, and the Passover scene where the thing went to kill everybody. One of my kids was like, "Is it killing everybody?" And they're like, "I don't want to watch this." I was like, "Damn."
That's probably one of the best.
It is
depictions of the angel of death.
Yeah, and it was. We were watching it during Easter.
It's powerful and moving. It's great.
One of the things I miss about old TV is when we went to my grandmother's house. There was Three Stooges. Young and the Restless, because she loved Young and the Restless. My grandmother did, but she couldn't speak English. But you didn't need to speak English to understand the story for the Young and the Restless. And she'd watch Sound of Music and 10 Commandments and Ben-Hur. That was like, and if we were there was always a big meal. And up until a certain point, you'd have everybody have a cigarette and a drink, and then you'd go in and have a meal, and then people would go for a nap and a cigarette first and then a nap. And then you'd have to be like, and if you're a kid, either we played in the basement, which was fine, but gets kind of boring. And then you could watch TV, and it was one of those cabinet TVs, like the wood TVs, you know what I'm talking about? It was like an ornamental piece. It was like a 27-inch wood TV, huge TV. And it was like 10 Commandments or Sound of Music, something like that. We got her a VCR, and she would watch those movies. Anyway, I miss that about TV. Back when I was a kid, because now everybody can just be like, oh, I'm going to watch YouTube and my own thing. It's like, no, that's not happening. You're watching whatever's on the television. But now whatever's on the television is crap. So it's probably crap back then too.
They've come up with a new kind of Hallmark movie, like Hallmark-esque movie.
Yeah. Except
the main character is a sex worker. Like, like I forget what it's, but this woman moves. It must have been made for TV. The woman moves to a small town and opens a dance studio that specializes in pole dancing, and then also has her massage business on the side. And
I see where this is going.
Actually, there's nothing explicit in it though.
Right.
Which why it's kind of Hallmarky, right?
Right.
And then gets a bunch of clients in a small town, and then the news breaks out that like half the guys in the small town went to see her and stuff like that. And she has to go to jail for a year.
And she's got the clap?
Well, no, but lots of people then, condemn her and stuff like that. But then at the end of the day, she has to leave the town because too many people still don't like her. But she's kind of a hero because she brought the whole town together.
When you initially said that, I should have referenced Pretty Woman, because my wife and I were talking. We were talking about like movies that I remember growing up to, and I watched Dirty Dancing way too young, and I was making fun of my parents because back then though, you went to the movie store and it was like $5 to rent a movie or something like that, and you didn't have like kids movies and adult movies. It was all movies. This is the movies that you're gonna watch. So, regardless, we watched Dirty Dancing, and so my wife was like, "What other movies from the '90s were really good?" I was like, "Well, Pretty Woman," but. Like we're not going to run headlong into that one because sex worker, right? I'm never kissing on the mouth, right? You say who, you say when, you say how much, baby. Like maybe we won't watch this one with our children right now.
Mark, I miss video stores.
I miss video stores.
I miss arcades. I miss video stores. I miss all that stuff. Friday
I feel like
night, go to Ballbuster. Make sure you rewind. But whatever. I miss all that. It was
Jumbo
really
Video.
Fun. It was like your honest engine Friday night fun, man.
Yeah.
Go pick a movie or two.
Yeah. We'd go to Jumbo Video. There's a Jumbo on Silver Creek Parkway in Guelph that we'd go to. That was our Jumbo, and it was a big one, and it had a popcorn. Like a popcorn thing. Everybody got their own popcorn. They were making money hand over fist. They didn't even see Netflix coming, unfortunately. Didn't even see it. Blockbuster didn't even see it. Blockbuster was basically just a dude with a spreadsheet that was able to track movies like in and out. And like that was the database of movies that Blockbuster owned. That was the valuable thing for them. And he didn't realize that like Netflix, if he had bought Netflix, Blockbuster would still be a thing that people do.
It'd still be, yeah.
Yeah, but whoops, right? Decisions have consequences.
I saved my DVDs because I knew that eventually I couldn't watch Red Dawn. They wouldn't put it on
media.
Yeah.
Or I couldn't watch all the movies that I'd saved or any of those things. Yep. And now, like all the kids, the grandkids, my friends, neighbors, guys I work with, they're like, Steve, do you have that DVD? And I'm like, yeah, man, you should watch that Friday night. So I keep it going because it'll cost them $12.99 to get it if it's even on Netflix or whatever. So they got the market crazy cornered. I'm just saying. So the DVDs alleviate that, especially when the power goes out. I'm like, ha ha, No internet? Okay, well, I'll just spark up my Jenny and drop in some DVDs tonight, and we're
We're
good.
set. Yeah, for sure.
I've been learning how to go sailing, let's just say, and I
Ooh.
want to try burning some seeds.
Fair enough. The programs are pretty easy there, Max. If you're interested.
Oh yeah, I got a client set up.
All right, cool. Okay, thanks, Steve. Greg, you're muted again. I had to mute you. If you're sorry, man. You're muted. You're muted. Sorry, I had to mute you. You were talking, and it distracts me. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This goes way, way back to Charlton Heston.
Yeah.
The two movies I think of. Of course, it's backwards on the screen, but Omega Man and Soylent Green.
Okay, Soylent Green. Yeah, I've heard.
Soylent Green.
I've heard.
Yeah.
There's a whole. So the cults that run the world, part of the. I've been watching a Rachel Chandler documentary that goes through the trafficking, the human trafficking, and the sex cults, and the satanic stuff too. And so part of the rituals with the blood, so they drink blood and other bodily fluids during their rituals, but then they grind up their victims and they want other people to partake in the ritual. And so, like, I don't know how true this is necessarily, but there have been rumors that PepsiCo and other big brands use byproducts of pretty horrific things in their recipes in order to satisfy that whole satanic everybody partakes.
Look into McDonald's.
Yeah, and
look into McDonald's.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what I've heard as well. And the whole thing is it's kind of like an inverted body of Christ and blood of Christ thing that people do in Catholicism. So I've only saw that recently, and up until that I saw those two things connected, I kind of dismissed it as something. Although I don't drink like pop or anything like that anymore. I used to. I kind of dismissed it though as something that was a little too far, and like how much control would you have to get these ingredients in there? But then now I'm like, oh shit, like totally plausible. So yeah, it goes back way further. I think you're right there, Greg, for sure.
One of the classic lines in the Omega Man was, I was a funny kind of doc. I don't know it exact, but I was a funny kind of doctor back in those days. He's speaking to the kids after he had found the kids. I was a funny doctor in those days. I had to find cures for diseases that hadn't been invented yet.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. All this stuff. I've said before, I've said kind of a few times that I think this conflict that we're in, like we are inhabiting the after effects of a lost war, and we're the subclass to the people who really run things, and they don't want us to know that, right? It's kind of a matrix it's kind of like a false reality that they run through their news and all the rest of it, and we're all plugged into it.
The Edgar Friendlies.
Yeah, some of us are the Edgar Friendlies. Demolition Man.
The Greys?
We live in the
Archons,
the people who run everything. I don't know exactly who they are. I've always said Rothschilds, like the elite families, the Rome group of 300, the you know who I'm talking about. That's where I go.
The Guggenheims, the 200. Yep.
Yeah, that's where I go. And I've heard lots of people talk about reptiles and shapeshifters, all sorts of things like that, and plausible. At this point, I can't dismiss anything. After living through COVID, I can't dismiss anything. There's some crazy stuff in this world.
So many of these scenarios have been played through in the original Star Trek TV series.
Yeah.
William Shatner as Captain Kirk. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't pay too much attention to the others from Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
I was more the old school. You know. Yeah.
What they've done to Star Trek is just terrible. Terrible. Awful. Thanks, Craig. The Starfleet Academy is terrible. I haven't watched any of it just because I read how terrible it is, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to subject myself to this garbage.
Well, I liked Jean-Luc Picard. He was good.
Yeah, he was good. Yeah, I liked TNG. Even the Picard series.
7 of 9.
Good. 7 of 9 was pretty good. Yeah. Even the Picard series.
7 of 9 was real good. Let me tell you.
Did wonders for the ratings. Thanks, Greg. MC.
Well, Mark, you mentioned body and blood of Christ, and it made me think, like, how did that squeeze in there?
Right?
Like,
isn't it
the
weird?
Council of Nicaea is like, you know what we need? We got to put in a little bit of cannibalism, you guys. We got just a little bit, and we'll just throw it, and we'll do it annually, obviously, because it's cannibalism.
Yeah, every Sunday.
You got to do it annually, but like, I don't know, man. It's just the thing that makes me think.
I believe that the big religions of the world, or Christianity, Vatican, was usurped a while ago in order to, because like the snake building, there's a whole bunch of things that there are red flags around the Vatican and around Catholicism that make me think this is not what was intended, maybe. And maybe there's some great nuggets. I'm not a religious scholar, and I don't pretend to be or anything like that. I'm just reacting to what I've seen. And it seems like the Vatican's not really serving God as such. And I don't think Catholicism necessarily serves God as such. I think that it serves a different master. And I don't know who the master is necessarily. Like, it might be more complicated than it seems, but it seems like the Vatican serves the globalist people. And if the Vatican serves the globalist people, and the globalist people are satanic Luciferians doing regular satanic rituals like the Super Bowl and like other satanic rituals where they engage in all sorts of you can find out about it if you want to read about it. I don't want to get too graphic or anything like that, but there's
the Olympics.
The Olympics could be another example. I'm sure it's corrupted. Like, if it ever was pure, I'm sure it has been corrupted over the years. Like, you start here and you're kind of walked into a corrupted state, and you don't even realize you've been walked into a corrupted state. We've all, like, before the internet happened, pornography was like Penthouse. You know what I'm saying? We all have watched culturally, because culturally pornography was very negative, I think, in Canada in the 90s. Like, people weren't like, yeah, porn's really great. And now, like, we've watched the rise of porn, and like, people talk about that as if, not as if it's nothing, but as if it's nothing. And that's just one aspect. The violence is much more now too. Like, movies are violent, and violent in weird ways, psychological ways. Like, one of the things that I can't abide and I don't watch on television or movies is if a main character, like, you do a flashback and then you watch the whole main character's family die, right? And like, that's supposed to show why he is the way he is now. But it doesn't really. Like, you could just explain that, like, oh, his family died. But instead they traumatize you. And it's like, this is constantly like berating us. And that constant beration, I think that's a word, walks us into that changed state. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are being abused into this changed state. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Like, berating, and that's what you meant. And theft under $1,000, that's okay. Just take $1,000. Only take $990. You know what I mean?
Sorry, hold on. MC's talking, dude. Hold on. MC.
Look at I think almost all the Christian denominations have been corrupted. Like, look at during COVID when all those congregations, like all those pastors, were getting paid by the feds to keep their churches closed and stuff like that.
Yeah. And there's a whole bunch of other examples. Like, what's his name? The last pope before the American pope was doing the LGBT thing. There's all sorts of art that's in the Vatican that's very publicly displayed from the snake building to the soul. Have you seen the souls thing? It's a very macabre, like, kind of scary looking thing. That's not, if we have a God that is a loving God and things like that, I would question the choice
wants you to celebrate him joyfully.
Yeah, like here, yeah. Look at these evil souls here that I've put together in this Vatican place in this snake building of mine. You know, like, they took the bells. KJ, the bells. Don't even get me started on the bells. It's pretty crazy. Like, that's what I mean. We live in this post-apocalyptic world that we don't even realize it's post-apocalyptic. We don't even realize that, like, the mud flood and these incredible buildings with horse-drawn carriages, people look at that and they don't see anything wrong with that. And I look at that and I can't see anything right with it. I'm like, are you kidding me? These buildings, horse-drawn carriages, no paved roadways. Look at the buildings. Why is the first floor buried? What are you doing? What are you thinking? It's right in front of us. And there's so many lies like that are right in front of us that people just don't see, and because they lack the context or even the critical thinking skills now to see it, you know. And it's just, man, it's scary stuff, because I think they should see, just like they reset everything. They reset everything all the time. KJ, we're goldfish with the attention span of a gnat. Like, the goldfish forgets after 5 minutes, but the gnat is already on to the next thing after 10 seconds. They're like, boop, 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 boop. And we've been trained that way with the internet. And it's crazy. And yes, they reset all the time. They're in the middle of a reset now. We're in the middle of a reset now, and we're not even realizing it. And we're not even realizing it. It's very, complacency is the order of the day. And it's a scary thing. MC, thanks. Do you have anything to finish there, or I'm going to move on to Ryan? Thanks. Ryan. Oh, you mean?
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
no,
just going to mention exactly what you're saying, mud floods and about. It'd be interesting to see what's under Vatican in the vaults.
Mm-hmm.
What all their writings, like they have books that going back thousands of years, but we're not allowed to look at that stuff.
Well, they burned the
the
Library of Alexandria,
and they burned exactly. Yeah, got rid of all the history there.
Yep.
And you look back into the world fairs back in the 1800s. Yeah, they supposedly built these places and then tore them down.
dismantled them. Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just leave it? Right? These big, huge buildings.
And they were incredible. They were incredible.
Electric.
Yeah.
Conveyor belt sidewalks that would go for everywhere.
Yep.
Like,
and there was an anti-gravity machine that you could fly around in, like, 15, 20 feet up in the ground, up in the air, anti-grav, just whoop, doo, 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 doo. There's a video of it flying around with this little anti-grav thing. And I mean, like, you got to take these things with a grain of salt too, right? But because of the age of AI videos and things, you can make things happen. But I've seen those videos before the AI things existed. So, I was like, man, the world's, as we've said many times.
The blimps, they had air. The
airships.
The airships.
So there was an airship in New York, 1938. That painter guy with the mustache was Man of the Year, Time Magazine's Man of the Year. They had a rally in Madison Square Gardens. There was an airship parked at the Empire State Building, one of those airships, right? And they wanted to destroy that way of travel. I would imagine that it was probably very comfortable. I don't know how fast it would be.
Comfortable. It was cheap.
Yeah. Cheap. Yeah. Cause they don't have to, cause all they have to do is like ride the air currents, right? Like they have to get the blimp into a current where it wants to go. And then they'll go as fast as the air current goes, and maybe more fast or less fast. I don't know. But like, there's the technology that they had that we've forgotten about.
They still have airships, Mark.
I know.
I just seen one on TV. The Goodyear blimp was just on TV.
Yes. But it's not mass transport. It used to be mass transport, and it used to be like upper class mass transport. You go and you have your cappuccino on the, and you're just hanging under. I don't know if I could do it, but probably, like, if everybody, I could get on if I could get on a tube with wings, I could get on an airship.
Just going from Lethbridge to Calgary, nice.
Let's make airships. We could make airships. Let's do some let's do airships. The
Pay
Canadian Airship Company.
And you get to go there, right? Instead of
for real. Let's do it. I love the idea of airships. Okay, with that, we've got to say.
Do you think the hot air in the airships can like melt steel beams though?
No, I don't think. Yes. Hindenburg says MC. Yeah, I know. I saw that. They use things like that to justify removal of technology they want to justify. I think they poison cigarettes too. I don't think tobacco, if you just smoke tobacco, like nothing else but just the tobacco, and if you don't soak the tobacco in formaldehyde and all the rest of it, I think that what cancer, right? And I think they realized how much people liked smoking. They realized people viewed it as like a zero-sum game, like smoking is just what everybody does. There's no problem with it. And then they were like, this is a health hazard, because people didn't view smoking as a health hazard in the 50s and the 60s. They viewed it as like having a cup of coffee. It wasn't like a health thing. It was like, I'll have a cigarette. That'll make things right. And if you just smoked the tobacco, it would be fine. But they poisoned the cigarettes in that period of time, and said this is a health hazard because they wanted to take away the cash crop from the United States, because it was a big, reliable cash crop. You could have a couple acres of tobacco and you could guarantee selling it. They wanted to get rid of that, and two, they wanted to just take it from the Americans who they hate, because the Bolsheviks hate us, and they're the ones who are in charge right now, I think. It's already after 2. Greg, will do you last, and then I gotta kill the stream and kill the show because I got family stuff to do. So, Greg, thanks, MC. Ryan.
I was just gonna say that with the cigarettes, it's the tobacco in the paper. No, the gunpowder in the paper.
Oh, it's in the paper. I believable.
If you look really close, there's little rings and little things on the paper, and that keeps it burning, so it goes out.
Yeah.
It doesn't go out; it just keeps burning.
Interesting, and that's plausible. I think they put the tobacco itself into formaldehyde. Like there's like a whole list of like ingredients and stuff, and it's all to keep it's all for shelf life, like to keep it on the shelf for a long time. So
you got to keep mold and mildew down and all that.
All that stuff. Yeah. You don't want to smoke mold. Like if you have marijuana that's like moist and moldy, it'll give you wicked headaches. And I don't think that I've experienced it, but I think I've had an experience that was close enough, and I was like, ooh, I'm not doing that. Put a little drying pouch in there. So, anyway, with that, everybody hang out for the green room for the stream. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will catch you next time, which should be next week, but I'm not 100% sure. But I'll